call, please.
Trustee Meadow?
Here.
Trustee Rule? Trustee Smart?
Here.
Trustee Suplet? Trustee Tingley?
Here.
All right, welcome everybody. Do you have any comments? All right, we'll keep on going on. Let's go on to liaison reports. Friends.
Okay, friends, they approved our annual
interior landscaping request at their February meeting in the amount of $2,850. They are also trying new ways to sell items through email or text. So the friends are sending out a list of items for sale that can be purchased with by sending an email or text message to the friends as a response, and then they schedule a pickup time here at the library. So that's what I have from the friends.
All right, very good. Let's go on then to the foundation.
Okay, I have a couple things from the foundation. New tech assistant, Jessica Link, is a community volunteer. She started working directly with Lori Harp and will begin posting twice monthly Facebook and Instagram posts. There are currently 6 postings ready to go out, and those will be interspersed with updates of the construction of the makerspace. They are continuing to research possible grant matches with our 2021 initiatives. They are continuing to work with library staff to bring our new donor screen live. Currently, Jessica is finalizing corrections and updates through February 1st, 2021. They are separating out community partnerships, in-kind donations from cash donations with appropriate breakdowns. And then they also have a list of 2020 in-kind restricted and operational donations. Not currently for public distribution, but we'll send that out to the board separately. That is all I have from the foundation.
Excellent. Looks like
Call the address, you won't be able to hear her.
I will. I'll bring her in on my cell phone.
bring on your cell phone. Okay. Gonna be calling.
Andy, like calling you. Okay. All right, let's move on then to action item 1, approval of the minutes for the joint meeting of the Autodesk Village Board and the Board of Library Trustees on January 16th.
So moved. Second that move.
Okay. Any comments, questions on that?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll get that one going. Go to action item 2 is approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting of January 19th, 2021.
I so move.
Any comments, questions, additions on this one?
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay. All right, let's go on to action item 3, approval of the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of February 1st, 2021.
I move approval. I second.
Okay. Any comments, questions, corrections on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Opposed, that goes through. Okay.
Moving on. Quick part of it. We're going to go on to item 4 now, review of the financial report for the period ended January 31st, 2021.
I would ask Anna to present that, please.
Right, so the revenue side, we received personal property replacement taxes, PPRT, in the amount of $18,938.15, and that's our portion for January. The village distributed a payment in lieu of land in the amount of $4,868.90. Copier printer revenue was $885.89 in January. Lost item charges totaled $598.98. That's the revenue collected. January interest was at $833.49. Donation total for the month was $13.80. And the Friends of the Library reimbursed us for expenses totaling $28,589.51. That was for interior landscaping maintenance, makerspace equipment, butterfly garden supplies, and Dan and Raymond movie club programs. On the expense side, 8% of the fiscal year has lapsed, and we've expensed 10% of our total operating budget. Just keep in mind in January, prepaid transactions are always higher than most of the year, yielding expense percentages greater than lapsed annual percentage. And if you're ready, we can move on to the check register.
So, I don't know, it's gonna be a stupid question.
So for the
copier printer, the 885,
that all came out of the section downstairs?
Partly, we were open as well.
So part of it was while we were open too?
on there, okay. Because, yeah,
I just, I look at something like that, and obviously it's a lot less, so I'm like going, I'm still thinking 885 came from
that small section down there. It's nice to see how well that works too down there.
Question, and I'm gonna draw your attention to the dashboard, and you probably be able to explain it fairly easily. When you look at the expenditures on the dashboard, contractual services was 21% of our fiscal year. What would fall under those contractual services?
Do you want to speak to that, Don, exactly what's in that? What is in contractual services?
When you look at the dashboard,
Oh, yes. So that is a large percentage of the January budget because those are annual subscriptions, a lot of databases. So those were prepaid expenses in 2020 and we expense them for the year.
All of that one. All right, thank you.
Mhm. All right, on the check register, I have a few checks highlighted. On page 1, check number 81383 for Lo Verde Contracting. The total of this is $3,150, and it's for the ESL room renovation downstairs. So take a peek on your way out if you haven't seen it yet. Also on page 1, check number 81409 for Rotary Club, $160, and that covers Mike Driscoll's and Shannon Distal's memberships for the year. Also on page 1, check 81426 Warehouse Direct, $664.62. This is for branded clothing. Our employees purchase it and then reimburse us for the cost. On page 7, check number 81325, Alternative Communication Services, $625 for this. And it's closed captioning for programs. So this covered 3 programs. And this just makes it more accessible to more customers by having the closed captioning available. Skipping to page 19, check number 81334, Arthur Gallagher Risk Management, $1,288. This is an extended policy for builders insurance. And this is for the makerspace, and it goes through July of 2021. On page 20, check number 81429, Williams Architects. This was $4,822.50 total for some construction documents and other third-party engineering for the makerspace. And that covers the highlights.
Hey, Jeff, let this one go. So going to the Belmont building, page 19, I think, right underneath. The washer dryer from Best Buy. What model did you get?
What model did we get? I don't have the model off the top of my
Is
head.
it a coin operated?
No, this is for staff use for the tablecloths and towels and stuff like that we'll be using in the space.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Not a revenue stream, no.
Any more questions? I forgot to say that this is action item 5. So we do need a motion, if there's no more questions.
Move that we approve the check register for the High School Memorial Library of January 31st, 2021, in the amount of $716,000, $541.95.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments on that one? Roll call.
Trustee Meadow?
Yes.
Trustee Rule? Trustee Smart?
Yes.
Trustee Suplet? Trustee Tangney? Yes. President Zick?
All right, let's move on to the Executive Director's report.
I have a few things in the Executive Director's report I'll highlight. First, right on the top of the first page, the library's fine-free and auto renewal policy went into effect January 2nd. So that was a huge rollout and something that our community has embraced and expressed their gratitude for. The next was the Explore the Collection from Home. So this is a new web page that was created to allow customers to browse many of our most popular collections from home, including picture books and audiobooks. We created the new web page titled Explore the Collection. It shows available items for popular collections and is divided by format and age, and within each page by collection. You could visit ahml.info/explore to see that page. At the bottom of the first page, the vaccine information page, we created and have been promoting a COVID-19 vaccination information page. This has a number of resources for the vaccine distribution and other information. You can view this page at ahml.info/vaccine_information. On page 3, I just want to touch on the tech stop. I know we mentioned that a little bit ago. The tech stop was only open through January 26th, but we still had 609 customers use the services. So that's an increase of 89 from December. And even with the colder weather, people were still using that. Printing and the express station use continued to be the most popular services. On page 4, I wanted to give a few statistics for the walk-up and the drive-through during the closure. So from January 2nd to the 26th, our circulation assistants helped 1,171 customers at our Dunton walk-up station. So this is at the Dunton, or the entrance on the Dunton side of the building. We had tables set up so people could just walk up and pick up their holds. We saw 11,122 cars through the drive-up in January to pick up holds, program supplies, print jobs, activity kits, etc. That is a 75% increase from last year. During peak times, up to 70 cars visited the window per hour. Our circulation assistants have shown incredible dedication and teamwork during these remarkably busy times while maintaining the high level of customer service visitors have come to expect from AHML. Then in January, our staff filled 37,183 customer holds, which is an increase of 55% over last January. On the next page, page 5.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So when I read that first 55% increase over last, that number just absolutely blew me away. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. Have we, and this might not be the right time quite to ask this, but are we taking the lessons that we're learning from that, and are these things that we can keep carrying through and make these type of things even more efficient as we move on?
Yeah, we've been looking at workflows all throughout the library and changing the way we do business now in this new environment. Mm-hmm. A lot of that stuff will carry over into the once things open up again. One of the reasons we're seeing that number so high is because people couldn't come in to browse, so they're placing holds for pickup at the drive-up window, and so they're having to pull those items where before the customer would pull them.
Yeah, because obviously staff is being asked to do quite a bit, you know, when it comes to something like that too. Right. So
it just shows people still want the physical items.
Yep.
It does.
You know, we've had a great increase in the electronic resources, but many people, we're seeing numbers like this too out at Gilboa, and it's huge. So,
which is great.
They're not afraid of touching that book.
Right.
Yeah. And then the whole thing of, you know, up to 70 cars visit the window
an hour. It's more than one a minute.
That's a lot. So
flying through.
We've reworked some of that, but any security concerns or safety concerns, you know, with all those cars coming through there that we should be looking at?
Well, we did. If you're talking about the logistical flow of the garage, we did kind of tape off one space with horses and caution tape because we were getting cars trying to interject into the same line at the same time. And so we have worked with the traffic flow a little bit down there. We've also put multiple people down at the drive-up window to help out with the volume. So that's worked out pretty well. Shannon, do you want to add anything to that?
No, you explained it perfectly.
Sure.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
There we go.
Let me hold this up closer. All I said was that Mike explained it perfectly. The traffic flow is a lot easier now, and also not as many people obviously in the building has meant not a lot of cars down there who aren't down there for the sole purpose of going through the drive-through or returning books. That's helped as well.
Thanks.
Well, thanks. Thanks, Shannon.
Okay, on page 5, I wanted to highlight the Autodesk software donation. So our Makerspace branch assistant manager, Chris Kruger, procured confirmation that Autodesk software will be donating 20 3-year licenses of their product design and manufacturing software collection. So these are a number of products that are very probably industry standard software for design and development. They will be an extremely valuable resource not only for the customers but for training and instructional use for the staff as well. This software collection retails at $2,720 per year, which puts the 20-seat 3-year license donation at a value of $163,200. And then another awesome donation for the Makerspace was continued this month from Praxis. They made a furniture donation in December and then invited the library back for more items as they moved out of their offices. So we went back with a truck and picked up a bunch more furniture, all kinds of stuff. Office desks, storage cabinets, whiteboards, a color copy machine, a rolling tool chest, wall art, and a lot more. So Lori Harp, our founder and chair of the Arlington Heights Memorial Library Foundation, estimated this donation at a value of $57,372.06. So that was very generous of Praxis to donate that.
Oh, we're cutting our furniture budget at least in half, if not more.
A lot of this furniture is going to be down in the basement, in the kind of lounge area,
Yeah.
and then we'll have the whiteboards throughout. There's also some of the furniture we'll be able to use in the staff space. So it has helped for sure in the furniture.
Yeah.
They had multiple offices, and so they're condensing down to one office. And so they're getting rid of everything that was in this office. On page 8, I want to mention the SCORE mentoring partnership. So our ongoing partnership with SCORE offered small business mentoring appointments remain strong. In January, community members utilized the service for 13 appointments. The combination of virtual appointments and willingness of the mentors to assist customers beyond the scheduled times has allowed us to meet the increased demand. Businesses need guidance in the current business climate of the pandemic era, and offering the services of great value to our customers. So this is a partnership we've had for a long time, and this is something that still remains strong, and we want to continue that partnership and grow it as much as we can, especially moving toward the makerspace in the future. We could see SCORE being a good partner there. Okay, then on page 10, on Sunday, January 17th, our programs and exhibit specialist, Tracy Recklaus, welcomed 350 customers on Zoom for another energetic historical presentation by Jim Gibbons, The 1918 Pandemic. Customers reported enjoying Jim's great visuals, humor, and the enthusiasm he infuses into every program. This is an example where we use live closed captioning, and this was offered during the program, and many customers let us know that they were appreciative of that option. Yes. I believe there was an evaluation done on that. Shannon, do you want to speak to that? We actually have some of the comments that were in from the survey. Right. So they have our programs department has the results of that survey. Sure.
Are you talking, but when you say something like that, John, are you just talking about that one specific one, or are you looking at certain, are you? For the large programs. So how are we defining the large programs? Are we defining that by a certain amount of people that come to them?
Just so we're clear, Jim Gibbons is a very famous, well-known, nationally recognized presenter. So you're gonna, when you have a Jim Gibbons program, you're gonna have 350 people. Just so we're very clear about that.
No doubt.
I was just saying he did one on Vietnam, that's phenomenal. I mean, he's great. So was this recorded?
No, he doesn't allow recording.
No.
Because that's his bread and butter, of course. Yeah,
And the only reason I'm asking the question, I'm okay with it, I just want to know, when we say something like that, how are we setting the parameters? Because obviously we don't want something from probably every single type of function that we.
Well, it's a conversation that we've been having overall. And, for me, if it's over 100 people, we should be getting, evaluations on their experience. And gathering that data and reporting it.
I don't only say for a virtual program, 100 isn't that big. Yeah, for an in-house program, yes, but for virtual, I would say, at minimum 200, 250 is probably considered, that's a really good audience, yeah, for virtual.
Chrissy.
That's the purpose of having a metric on it.
Again, it's not a conversation, so.
I'm having a hard time hearing John and Christy.
I can't.
John, there's a knob on your microphone. Just turn it all the way up.
Sorry, that was my fault. I should have pushed the button.
Yeah. It gives us guidance as to how our programming is being received and validation as to the types of programs that we're conducting. So that's.
So my guess is that so we're using those internally, correct? To be able to gauge exactly what's going on. I think what we're trying to get is that we correct me, John, if I'm wrong. What we're trying to do is, as a board, we kind of like to know what's going on too. Just a little bit more insight. You and the staff have to decide, what the programs are and what's the right way to do it. But just to kind of give us some kind of idea exactly what's going on, the money being spent and how it's being spent, just to kind of give a little bit more certification to that. Okay. Is that kind of where?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then on page 12, I just want to highlight another Meet the Maker program. So this is a new series that we've been having around making. So this is a new maker, Julie Kittredge, on January 25th. She is formerly the library's business services advisor. She joined the Makerspace branch, assistant manager Chris Kruger, and our exhibits coordinator, Carol Inghee, to share her ceramics process, work, and her journey to become a working artist. She shared her story with 42 attendees through short videos pre-recorded in her studio, along with stunning visuals and tips on some technical skills. The variety of questions posed by attendees makes it clear our community is excited about the possibility of making at the coming Makerspace. And that one is available on the YouTube page, on the library's YouTube page. On page 15, I just wanted to highlight the e-resource usage for January. If you look, there's a little bit of a bump there between December and January for the ebook checkouts and the e-audio checkouts. And then on page 17, our youth services supervisor, Rebecca King, completed her term with the Purity Belprix Award Selection Committee, sponsored by the Association for Library Service to Children. The committee reviewed more than 100 books and discussed plots, character development, page texture, choice of font, artistic styles, use of colors for skin tones, and most importantly, how the piece best portrays, affirms, and celebrates the Latino cultural experience. After much deliberation, 3 winners and 5 honor books were selected, and there's a link to the winning titles in the director's report if you would like to see those. Our Kids World librarian, Christina Giovanelli Caputo, founded and moderates the Facebook group Librarians Serving at Home Learners and Homeschoolers. Leveraging her knowledge and experience, she advocated for and launched the Rails group, known as All Learners Welcome, Librarians Serving at Home Learners and Homeschoolers. Christina recently accepted a lecture position for the iSchool at University of Wisconsin-Madison. She'll be teaching strategic communications planning in the MLIS program. And last but not least, in January, our Makerspace branch assistant manager, Chris Kruger, passed the 2-hour Serve Safe Food Protection Manager exam After 10 hours of training and preparation, this certification is required to be held by at least one staff member of the makerspace when it begins renting out the kitchen commercially.
Makes sense. John?
Yes, if you would, we turn to page 16 is the social media engagement. I guess we've got a year's worth of data here, and now it's starting to get really interesting as we come closer to the March month and the COVID. But even now, you can still see the direction of drivers and contacts and watch points, various media. YouTube is my eye in particular in the bulk of that usage over the past year. But it's not unique. I mean, we're seeing it many of these. I share that as an observation, but also I think it really speaks to the direction in which we're moving and the level of awareness by your staff in terms of using this, particularly going forward, but moving forward.
Yeah, I think the staff have done a phenomenal job using social media and these different platforms to pivot from our physical programming to virtual, as well as promotion and campaigns. Mary, do you want to speak to this?
No, I think, well, I think keeping track over a year period has been very helpful. We find video engages different audiences to a really great degree. And we've got some really good video skills among our staff and in production and presentation that I think are paying off.
Well, and it kind of goes back to the question I was asking you before about all the holds and everything. And it probably isn't the right time now, but I would be fascinated just to learn what we've learned from this whole time period and how we've gotten better and where we're kind of going. You know, are there things that and again, this isn't meant to be a micromanaging type of thing, but are there things that we can learn where we can actually improve the library as we go further that we've grown? Because, you know, out of times like this, you're always going to grow at some point. You're going to learn new things. And at some point, it'd be nice, it's kind of neat to see the overview of how have we changed, you know, as a library since then, and where does that push us into the future in regards to some of our strategic initiatives too, and how it wraps up into some of those also. I think there's some, you know, like you're saying, John, there's some incredible things that have gone on for us as all heck with the staff and everybody and what we've done. But I'd love to know the lessons of where we've gone. Anything else?
No.
You're good? Okay. All right, let's move on to old then. Action item 6, approval of the Illinois Public Library Annual Report of 2020. We reviewed at the last meeting.
Yeah, so this is the annual report that was reviewed at the February 1st Committee of the Whole meeting. There were no changes that came out of that meeting, so this is being presented as it was presented at the Committee of the Whole for your final review and approval.
John?
Second.
Seconds on that? Okay, great. Any more comments, questions on this? All right. Do a roll call on that one.
Trustee Meadow?
Yes.
Trustee Rule? Trustee Smart? Trustee Suplet? Trustee Tangney?
Yes.
President Zick?
Yes. Okay, let's move on to action item 7, approval of fiscal year 2021 Illinois Public Library per capita grant application.
Okay, this, just like the previous item, was brought to the February 1st Committee of the Whole meeting for review. There was no changes coming out of that, and so this was brought back for final review and approval.
Do we have a motion?
I have. The Board of Library Trustees approves the Illinois Public Library per capita and equalization aid grant application.
Comments on that one? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes. All right. Move along here. Let's go on to action item 8, adoption of the 2021.
Okay, so this is the budget amendment to take the funds that were not spent last year, move them into 2021. That budget, the proposed project amount is $1,041,236. This is for the makerspace. This was brought to the February 1st Committee of the Whole meeting, and there was discussion. I've added the combined budget total at the bottom of this memo, and Don has provided a full budget summary on the second page for your review, and be happy to take any questions on it. Donna, did you want to add anything? No.
Okay, have a motion for this.
I second.
Comments or questions on that? Okay, roll call on this one, please.
Trustee Meadow?
Yes.
Trustee Rule? Yay. Trustee Smart?
Yes.
Trustee Suplet? Trustee Tangney?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on. Let's go on to action item 9, extension of temporary policy due to COVID-19.
Okay, so this is the temporary policy that we put in place for COVID-19 to allow us as staff to adjust policy and usage of the building, hours, et cetera, during this pandemic. This has been extended a number of times. I'm bringing it back now for extension. This policy was through February 17th. There are no substantial changes to the policy. There are just a couple of minor things that I removed. Because the building's open, if you look at the modification of the temporary library card expiration, I just removed the during building closure and following building reopen. The temporary library cards issued online are valid for 90 days. And then below that, the vacation section, I removed the 2 lines that were included in the vacation policy that we recently approved. So this is for an extension through April 17th or whatever date the board feels appropriate.
Okay. I move the Board of Library Trustees recognizes and extends the temporary COVID-19 policy, amending existing policies effective February 17th through April 17th, 2021.
Second? Second? Okay. Any comments, questions on this one? Hopefully straightforward. All right, we're moving fast. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Nay? Okay, we'll keep that one going. We're moving quickly here. Meeting summary 10.
Okay, this is just an informational item. This is just to kind of give you guys an update as to where we're at with the reopening summary. Effective on February 2nd, our region was moved to phase 4 of the Restore Illinois Mitigation Plan. So this, we've changed a lot of the services that we were offering since that time. In addition to opening the building, on February 10th, we extended our drive-up window, now opens at 8 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. We found that we had cars waiting at 9 a.m., so we felt that that was an appropriate move. We have reinstituted some seating on the first floor of the library. We've reinstituted the study tables for customer use. The time limit for customer visits within the library changed from 1 hour to 2 hours. Customers are now allowed back on the bookmobile. It's limited to 2 individuals at a time or 1 family with a 5-minute limit. Our microfilm reader in the Shackley room is available for customer use. A self-service area with paper income tax forms has been set up near the Dunton Avenue entrance, and the reading room at the Senior Center is open for browsing and material checkout. All of the other limitations and restrictions remain in place, and we are continuing to make changes and have other considerations. Currently, we've been talking about possibly opening up the conference rooms and studio rooms, some limited capacity in-person programming, reduction of the 3-day item quarantine, and an increase in library capacity or further reduction of the time limit. Or I'm sorry, increase of the time limit.
Can you give us kind of an outline of what guys are seeing since we went to phase 4 and reopened in regards to daily visits? Like, what actual movement are we seeing in the library?
We are seeing, we're not seeing a lot of in-person visitors. We do have people coming in to use the public computers, some of the services that are more able to be used in the building. We had the tech stop downstairs previous to the building being reopened, but having the computers here where people can sit down and use in a warm building is obviously advantageous. Some other services, obviously being able to browse the collection. Being able to browse the collection electronically is not as easy as coming in and being able to look at certain collections. Let's see. Those are probably the bigger ones. Also, the study tables. That's kind of a big service. People like to be able to come and either meet with people or work on their own stuff here at the library. And
What's the calendar? Are we seeing 250 people a day?
no, probably closer to between 400 and 500 people a day. Yeah. Any other questions?
I do wonder how the things like the studio, how we figure those type of things out. That's
right, and that's one we're pushing off. The or the conference rooms and the studio rooms are a little bit tougher. We are talking about moving a lot of the equipment that is in the studios out to the bench that's behind the studios along the wall with all the windows. So like the conversion equipment and some of the other stuff that people can use without needing the enclosed studio, we're making available. But there's, even in phase 4, I think having people in an enclosed space is not ideal. So we're looking at it. We're looking at the science and the data, and it's not something that is going to be happening anytime soon. But there are some other things that may, like changing the library capacity and time limits might change sooner. Possibly reduction in the quarantine. There's a lot of science there that shows surface-to-surface transmission is. It's not the main point of transmission. So we're looking more at the aerosols than we are surface transmission.
So what's the next phase after this one?
5.
And that's full open.
That's total open.
5 is the last one, huh? Okay, so we're probably a little while away from that, I'm guessing.
Right.
I wonder if there'll be steps in 4, such as gatherings of 200 or even 500, because 5 is Wrigley Field is open and Lollapalooza and all of it's thousands. So it'll be interesting. I didn't know if maybe there'll be a few steps in 4 before, so therefore you could have an art fair, with a few hundred people, but we'll have to see.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It'll depend on that. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions or comments for Mike? All right, we're moving along quickly here tonight. Doesn't look like there's any new business. Other?
I just had one thing, just with February being Black History Month, I wanted to highlight a few programs and resources that the library has that we're offering. The Long Shadow, it's a discussion and Q&A with the director, Francis Causey. It's February 24th at 7 p.m. It's a film. You can view the film between February 19th and February 26th and submit questions ahead of time. The Long Shadow follows former CNN senior producer and Emmy Award-winning director Francis Causey as she traces her family legacy of white privilege. Causey places this in the context of history of anti-Black racism in the United States that began with slavery and continues to impact our society today. So you can join her live for the Zoom Q&A and discuss her journey. So that's one that's coming up on the 24th. Then we also have a curated list on our homepage of items that highlight Black voices in film, literature, and music. It's called Spotlight on Black Voices. That's right on our homepage of our website, and there's a number of different lists there. We also have the fireside chat with Dr. Eve Ewing on Monday, March 1st at 6 p.m. And we have the work of artist Faith Ringgold is highlighted in the kickoff of the Art 101 series with Jeff and Michelle Misher. So that one's coming up as well. That's all.
Very good. Any other that anybody would like to?
I just wanted to ask Mike one question on the Long Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to register for that, or can you view it anytime? Is it up on the website?
I think you can view the film anytime, but the Q&A is registration, I believe.
Q&A.
Shannon, is that? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
Very good. Anything else? Let's give it a thumbs up to somebody. Anything else? Okay. The real quick one tonight, guys, but we do have to go to closed sessions. So do you have a motion for closed session, please?
Although that we adjourn the public meeting and move closed session in accordance with ILCS 12.1/2, for the purpose of review closed session minutes.
Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay? Nope. Okay, we're good. All right. So are we, we've got the recording going. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. That was a quick one for the regular meeting.